I've literally just kicked it off. I've just been like, do you know what? We're gonna start.
We're gonna start.
We're just gonna start.
I'm gonna mute this tab.
Oh, actually, yeah, that's a good point. Have I actually muted things properly?
Let's go to the
No, we're fine. We're fine.
The dashboard.
We're
Stream
good.
manager. We're cool.
We still need to think of like a funky intro for this because all the time it's just us talking. So I don't know.
I considered that actually.
Like I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Maybe we just need to have like a really bad cheesy little intro. Like I don't know. Maybe I'll get a kazoo out.
Sounds amazing.
I'll get a kazoo. You could like I don't know, slap a washboard or something.
Oh, yeah, one minute, I can bust out some jug. You know.
Yeah, get the jug. We'll
I think
Lisa, did I say stop?
the idea of us having a little kind of theme tune that sounds like a little kind of sea shanty type thing.
Oh yeah,
it does sound quite appropriate because we both live by the sea.
It's very true.
And we both come from England, and where everyone knows sailors are British.
England.
Yeah, and yep, that's about it, really, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's all we need. And also, I like music.
Music is powerful for the soul, yes. So like we shouldn't exactly be surprised in that regard.
Damn, actually, you're kind of pretty right and based about that. Actually.
I know.
Very damn epic.
It's a beautiful thing, music. Like we should never ever reject it. The only type of music I can't stand, or what I can't stand, is what I don't understand. Apparently, this is going to sound really wild for anyone, but apparently there's a genre of music where it's basically you tuning up your guitar. That's apparently a genre.
Wait, really?
Yeah. Like I can't. This was back in university, but someone literally was like, "Oh, bro, like if you want to hear like something super amazing, listen to this." And it's literally some guy tuning his guitar up, like for 12 tracks. He's tuning it up to do different sounds with the guitar.
Wait.
It's like improv.
Wait, okay. For a second, I was just like, are you maybe talking about a guy called John Gom, who's like one of the most phenomenal musicians of all time?
Oh, no.
Okay.
No.
Cool, because he does do this thing where he has like his guitar modded in a way that makes it so that certain spaces on the guitar will make different sounds. So,
oh,
like,
no.
Different, like,
literally, I'm talking about he plugs it in, coughs for it, and then like tune. He like tune. Yeah, literally that. And then there's like a minute where he goes. There's a section that's really strange. He does the whole down, now, and then he literally goes, I really wish I had a cigarette. Down. And apparently that counts as a genre of music. I'm just saying. I also came across a guy on TikTok. Apparently, like he's getting viral for basically his whole stick is that he has he's I think they just call him the man with the drum on the table.
Okay.
And he literally has, like I mentioned, a drum on a table, and he just bashes it. He like bullies this drum. Like he'll smack it with the sticks. He'll headbutt it. He'll smack it with the microphone. He throws the drum against the wall. He throws the table on the other wall. And there's literally this woman in the corner going like, yeah, I can get behind this. What?
He's on to something.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, honestly, music is amazing. But there is a line.
I agree. That's amazing. That is amazing. That sure is something.
So you never know. Corviknights' intro theme might literally just be us just making bird noises and shouting "roost" or "body press."
I'll be cool with that.
I'll be all right with that. Why not?
Yeah.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How are you tonight? Welcome to episode 5 of the London Corviknight podcast. Of course, I am Mac404. With me is my beautiful, gorgeous co-host Barrett C9. Was only rejected as one of the members of Deal or No Deal because he was just too pretty for the job. And he was like, "A penny, you suck." Like,
a penny.
A penny.
How dare you?
How dare you? Do
you reckon that's cause proper drama?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. 100%. 100%. I had someone who went on a TV show, and she generally didn't know the answer to a question, and the person behind her, my friend rather, was shouting behind once the recording was filmed, and he had to be escorted out of the ITV studios because he just would not stop yelling because apparently her failing to answer a question cost him a holiday.
Oh, well,
Like,
that
they were on £850 at this point. So
I mean, that's pretty bad.
it is a little bad. It is a little bad. But anyway, how are you, Barrett? How are you doing tonight?
Yeah, I'm doing alright. This could sound really random, right? But I was watching the Indy Regionals, and
Oh,
it showed the champion graphic, and I wanted to like take a picture of it and to like put up and be like, oh, look at we could talk about like the meta of how the poses have changed.
mm.
And when I looked at it, I was like, wait a minute, that's my friend. And then I realized it wasn't, but James Evans has it's really weird, right? James Evans is like quite young still, right?
Mm.
So people have seen him kind of grow up a bit, so if you look at a picture of him from like the beginning of his VGC career, he's like literally a child, and then he's, generally speaking, people tend to grow up a lot in that time, so he's generally changed quite a lot. And I've realized that he's grown into an identical version of like someone I know, but like how they looked at that age. So I was like, yo, that's so weird, you look just like this guy. So I took a screenshot of James Evans and sent it to my friend to say, hey dude, I know I haven't spoken to you for a while, but I just wanted to say that I remembered you because this guy looks just like you when you were this age. And he was like, oh yeah, I suppose he kind of does, that's quite funny. And then he thought, I keep thinking you really look like somebody, but I can't think who it is.
I
And I was
can't
like,
pinpoint it.
he was like, I can't pinpoint who I think it is. And I was like, I'm not going to lie, mate. I'm going to send you the thumbnail to the video I made recently, and it's going to show you exactly who you're talking about.
I mean, to be fair, I did that with jawnzu because, of course, Saturday I was having the regional in the background while I was admittedly playing F1 Manager on my PC, and I'm like trying to encourage my drivers to like push and like do well. And hang on, that's jawnzu. And I was just like, so I had to reverse it a little bit because I missed the first opening couple of turns, and I was like, literally, I paused my manager game. And then just suddenly focus was on the other screen. And I was just like, oh my God. We'll talk about jawnzu's performance anyway, because it was generally one of the highlights of the weekend, in my opinion, what happened during his game. But, obviously we'll cover Indy Regional tonight. We'll cover a couple of other interesting things that have happened in the last week and a bit. I think literally as soon as me and you finished the episode last week, we just saw a bunch of tweets about a gloom that was making the rounds, in which both of us was just like, oh, that's a good joke. And then, wait, no, this isn't a joke. Why is this so good? Why is this really work? And, well, obviously me and Barrett kind of had some thoughts going into Indy Regional, which I'm kind of really happy that we got them right, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
Like, me and you had some opinions, which I feel like a couple of people didn't think we were talking sense. Turned out we were right.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you could. Oh, I'm waiting for. I know Maridon apology form is a thing on Twitter. I'm waiting for my one. Like,
yeah.
Where's my one?
Well, I do apologize for my doubt of Maridon, but at the same time, we will discuss.
We're definitely gonna have to talk about that. And the other couple of things as well we're going to mention is we're going to have a quick little discussion actually about the sort of interesting gap between NAIC and Worlds, a really weird gap, and what potentially could happen in those 6 weeks, what we could be seeing. But it'll be interesting anyway. And not to mention as well, obviously, like I mentioned, we'll talk about Indy. Like, we've got a few things we want to talk about with that. And then we're probably going to have a quick discussion about next week. Because for people who might be unaware, we turn 3 years old this Saturday as a Discord, as a community. It's our 3rd year anniversary on Saturday. So obviously we're going to have to come up with something maybe to either do or talk about, or like we could even just dedicate the whole episode into us talking about an origin story or something. The lore of the Corviknights, if you will.
I'm not going to lie. I actually think that that'd be really cool.
Yeah?
I genuinely think that a lot of people would really, really love to know, because I don't even know. So it'd be a learning experience for me. I don't know. I suppose at any point
I generally thought I told Barrett. Never mind.
But I accidentally saved it for our 3-year anniversary, so it worked out really well.
I mean, I'll message Nerd and see if he's up for it next week. I mean, if we have to switch the viewer battles and the podcast round, then we can easily do that, because we're very close for the affiliate anyway.
Oh, in fact, we've done it. This stream did it.
This stream's done it.
This stream did it. If I look at our
stream information
requirements right now, we've hit the 50 follower mark. We've hit the 8 hours per month. We've hit the 7 days. It says that we haven't right now because it says we're doing 6, but it said 6 before we started. Once we finish, that will clock to 7.
Oh yes, of course, we were like 20 minutes away or something.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, we haven't even hit that yet. So once we do that, then it will work, and then we're already over the amount because, well,
that raid basically helped us probably.
I don't know if they count the raids, but anyone who stuck around for a while, it might have, and we did it. I'm really grateful that we had like a nice 20+ people hanging around after that.
That's very true.
You guys on the viewer battles must have really been pulling out all of the stops for
very hungry for Regulation G battles. Clearly, obviously, thank you again to who raided us last night with the 75 odd people. I did give them a follow back, so they're probably in my list somewhere.
I saw actually. Yeah, I told you I was already following them.
Oh, interesting. Okay,
I don't know how. I happened to maybe see them once.
That's crazy. But anyway, yeah, thank you very much everyone for sticking around last night. It was great fun. We had a lot of fun. We always have fun doing viewer battles. If anyone's interested, obviously, very much looking forward to doing some more viewer battles next week and seeing what kind of teams come up. Because if you missed last night, oh my goodness, where were you, first of all? Because we had basically the battle of the grass types in which neither of them want to die. They wanted to stay alive as long as possible. So obviously we'll get that uploaded onto YouTube some point later this week, so you lot can enjoy to the fullest, I should say, as well, the splendor that was last night's battle. I think splendor is a good word for this, I'm not gonna lie.
I do like the use of the word splendor in this context.
I think that's it then. I think we could just crack on with what we wanted to do tonight and what we wanted to talk about.
Yeah, sure.
So I guess, should we start with Indy, or would you like to start with the Dugong gloom craziness?
I feel like we should start with Dugong.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Like,
it's interesting, isn't it?
What on earth is going on there? So, like, that's legit my question, is just what on earth is this? What is this Dugong gloom team, Barrett?
Okay, so let's work out exactly what it is. So it consists of Gloom, Armarouge, Indy, Dugong, Tinglu, and Lunala, which on paper does sound really, really weird, but it actually has it follows every single team building rule there is. Actually, weirdly enough, when you really put it on paper, it's got a Firewater Grass Core. It's a closed team sheet. Let's be frank about it. It is specifically supposed to be closed team sheet, and it utilizes the closed team sheet as a point. As we talked about before, closed team sheet is a real meta in the Asian competitive scene. So also a lot of teams that get made with these things are actually, they have some form of learning potential from anyway, and it already contains some of the things that we've learned in previous regulations. For example, Fissure Ting Lu with an Assault Vest is still a really good Pokemon with the amount of special defense investment that it has as well. That is incredible.
Honestly, someone on YouTube basically has tried to recreate it as much as possible with the data that they had. Apparently, this is collected from about 100 different battles, quite detailed in how these spreads are done. Based on the knowledge that they had from the battles that they've collected and like damage calculations that they figured out. I mean, all in all, nuts. Like this is such a crazy team. Never in a million years would I think Eviolite Gloom with Stench would be my choice of idea.
Wait, what does Stench even do?
Oh, so Stench basically has a 10% chance of any physical moves. I believe it's any physical moves hitting it is a 10% chance of flinching. So say, for example, if I hit you, like, if I went for, like, a Mega Punch onto you and you had Stench, I have a 10% chance of flinching.
What? That's pretty good. That's quite a...
It's quite a good ability, isn't it? And then, if you've realised, Urshifu Surging Strikes, that's 3 chances of getting flinched.
So it just reduces the amount of times that, Urshifu has the chance to really do anything as well.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
And I know that half the team is specifically made to be hard Urshifu and Kyogre counters, which is where the Eviolite Gloom comes in, and it's where the Dugong comes in, and it's where to a degree, well, the Lunala's got the wide guard, and then you've got the special attack decrease from the Ting-Lu to just try and help with the Kyogre matchup as well, and with the Calyrex Shadow matchup. Armor is just really good for the Calyrex Ice matchup. It's just really funnily good.
I think it's crazy. Also, to point out as well, this Armarouge is running weak armor with weakness policy. So Dewgong's Aqua Jet going into Armarouge.
It's also, by the way, I want to point out, it's Quick Claw Dewgong, yeah, which means that you might think, well, I'll just fake it out, but it actually might go first anyway, because Quick Claw priority is actually better than fake out, and also it's got a 9% desert because of this. It's running Horn Drill. Horn Drill's not got any drawback except for it can't go into ghost types, right? So there's only, whereas like other Oko moves have certain other drawbacks. There's a 9% chance when it clicks that thing that it just deletes a Pokemon before any other Pokemon can move as well. There's a 30% chance that it goes down, that it Okos a Pokemon, because that's just how Horn Drill is, yeah. But 9% out of the 100% chance, it will have priority. So
it is just the fact, though, isn't it? It's a Dewgong that we're all like talking about. I mean, yeah, the Eviolite Gloom is just as crazy, but Dewgong, like, no one respects Dewgong, really. Like, it feels as though Dewgong is a middle stage Pokemon at this point.
It could be one day, which would actually probably make it much better. And
right.
I'd love that. I think that'd be bang.
Eviolite Dewgong.
Well, it would be a fantastic Eviolite Pokemon. Thick fat.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, thick fat Eviolite, and it's got some good utility as well. Fake out, it's got Icy Wind,
I never knew it had fake out. I legit was like, there's no way this Dewgong is legally has fake out. So I went on Cerebi and I was just like, no, this is wrong. This feels so wrong.
And it's a relatively fast fake out user as well, as fake out users go. I mean, you've got your 80s with like Rillaboom, but then it's the 60s, which is like Incineroar, which, I mean, Incineroar do tend to speed creep, but it's faster than an Iron Hands fake out. It's faster than
it's mental.
Grimmsnarl fake out. It's faster than Sableye fake out.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
It's mental. And I love the fact that, like, when you think about it as well, how does it fake out the opponent? Does it hit it with his back fin, or does it hit it with his little flippers? Like,
oh my god, sorry. I just remember, speaking of fake out, okay. My eldest daughter is playing basketball after school for a club that she's doing at the moment. I was telling her, because we discuss it afterwards. I'm not like a massive sports fan, but I do like a little bit of basketball. And there was a clip of somebody going into Kobe Bryant with the fake out with the basketball thing.
Oh,
and he just doesn't flinch. He just stands there and just steals the ball. Like, he doesn't care at all. He's just got he's running in a focus. Like, he just does not flinch. And I thought that was really incredible, and I told her about that. And she was like, "Oh, really?" Because she was like, are you allowed to do that?" I said, "Yeah, as long as you don't actually hit them in the face, then you are actually allowed to do that. It's a little bit sneaky to like scare somebody by making you think you're going to throw the ball at them."
Honestly, I was 100% sure you were going to say yes, unless you're in Psychic Train.
Yeah, yeah, I should have said that. No,
should have said you know.
I've succeeded as a parent, but I failed as a Pokemon trainer.
I'm never going to win worlds like this.
No.
My daughter.
No.
Oh.
She'll just have to be famous basketball player, I suppose.
Single tear runs down your cheek.
I'm 100% joking.
Disclaimer right now.
I just want to say
this is a clip for Twitter or YouTube, isn't it? Barrett and his daughter.
Barrett precious his child to becoming famous athlete. Well, actually, the funny thing is, what I was going to say is I'd kind of completely forgotten that I told her about that. And then we were walking home today, and she was telling me, she was like, "Oh, by the way, I got someone with the." I was like, "Really?" She went, "Yeah." I was like, "I got the ball," and they came towards me, and I went like that in their face, and just like when they were shocked, I just went around them and I scored. And I was like, "Are you kidding me? That's insane!
That's so good.
That's incredible." I couldn't believe it. I was genuinely so like, I couldn't believe, like, not only that, but one, I can't believe that she remembered that I even said that. So
I can't believe it's not butter.
I can't believe it. It was smooth as butter.
Smooth as butter.
Just went around them, and I was like, "Man, my daughter, she's a Rillaboom.
That's my girl.
She's hitting with that fake out U-turn.
Fake out U-turn. Yeah.
The grassy glide.
The grassy gliding. Oh my god.
Anyway, yeah.
Actually, to be fair, we went to Disney a couple of years ago, and I actually managed to find tickets for the Orlando Magic basketball team. real good fun, actually. I do highly recommend going to basketball games. They're not expensive either. Like, if you know where you're going. Like, I paid about $15 per ticket for Orlando Magic game, which is considerably cheaper than anything over here. And it was great fun. Like, honestly, it was hilarious. There was a halftime performance by the Orlando middle-aged breakdancing group.
Awesome.
I legit, like, it was different people doing different styles of dances from their childhood, and it was all just middle-aged parents just, you know, doing various dance moves from the 80s and, like, late 70s. It was so funny. But it was amazing. It was great fun.
Sign up.
Yeah, literally, like, when can I turn up and show them some 90s classics?
Exactly.
But yeah, no, honestly, basketball, great fun.
Yes.
Back to this.
Yes.
No, this is crazy. Like, I wouldn't be surprised. I haven't actually had to look at the regional data from Victory Road. I wouldn't be surprised if at least one person turned up to Indianapolis with this team and generally tried to think I can win a tournament with this.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I think someone generally has tried to win Indy with that. Because Power Herb Lunala is not to be messed with. Power Herb Lunala is disgusting, like the amount of damage you can pull off with that. And the fact that it gets wide guard as well is really nice. I think we mentioned it during our tier list. You know, it's a great Pokemon. It's just its typing lets itself down a little bit. And considering the amount of, you know, dark type Pokemon, or, you know, evil type Pokemon if you're Japanese, like Reg G Evil, I think it was. Came up with
evil Pokemon stopping poor Calyrex Shadow from dominating the metagame.
Like, oh, guys, let the horse prance.
How
Like,
could possibly be so mean?
do you not like trotting?
You're so evil.
You all of you have clearly not watched equestrian events. Like, you are missing out. Like,
I was just doing
check out that horse's drip.
Just some innocent dressage. I call this one the Astral Barrage.
Oh, that's a very good Astral Barrage by the show pony.
That actually, I think, is what Calyrex sounds like.
Oh yeah,
he's a king,
but he's also dumb as hell.
He is stupid.
Like, I have 1,000 years worth of knowledge, but I just can't remember where I put my horse.
Oh no!
Like,
it's something about a carrot.
Yes, something about a carrot. I knew I should have double locked the horse before I left.
Double locked. Oh. Black horse or black horse, I don't remember.
Oh, what was she? Let me just possess this man.
Yeah, it is boring as a bystander.
poor guy.
He's actually my favourite character.
Oh, he's hilarious. He's so funny. Yeah. Like, he mistakes Calyrex's head of the statue as a pillow.
Exactly.
Which tells you everything.
My kind of guy.
Like, my kind of man. Like, you know, if you go for a drink with him, you will be drunk.
Yeah, that's true. That's
like,
true.
Guaranteed. Hello, Your Conscious. How you doing, mate? I hope you're good. Dugod is still doing well on High Ladder. I'm not surprised to hear that, honestly.
Yeah. The Dawn Wings is an interesting one now. I've seen people are picking up the Dawn Wings as an adjustment. Not quite sure why, but it's interesting.
Yeah, because I guess now that you've led on to Dawn Wings, I think we could talk about, like, the other restricted Pokemon that happened at Indianapolis and how they got on. Because you, of course, called the Terrapago sort of 2-2-2 system, which I literally saw I think it was literally the first match of day one, was the Terrapago's 2-2-2 system. And I was like, oh my god, Barrett's done it. Like, Barrett called this, and it was just sort of like, wow, like, that didn't even take long to prove. Like, that was quite funny. However, I was particularly pleased that my prediction was right as well. The fact that it was literally, hey everyone, bring your horse.
Yeah,
bring your horse. There's a handy little graphic here that VGC Data have put together for us. This is from 163 teams from players that were X and 3 or better. So we're talking 6 and 3 upwards. So as you can see, Cali Ice was the most prominent restricted Pokemon of Indy. Not surprising at all, I think, Barrett, if I'm honest. Like, you know, Clear Amulet, Cali Ice is quite the gross Pokemon to deal with. Yes, it's got weaknesses, but like that's why you've got good teammates with it, and the fact that it's still bulky as hell probably helps that fact. However, I was fascinated looking at this data to see Zamazenta got more usage than Groundon.
Yeah. It was, yeah.
Obviously the yellow there represents other restricted mons that we just didn't see. So I mean, here you can see like 71%, sorry, of players with XM3 records or better was running Ensign with Amoonguss and Urshifu Rapid Strike. Really good showing from Raging Bolt, actually. I was a little concerned Raging Bolt might go down slightly. It's still cool to see that it was still really, really strong. Kali Ice was being the best restricted. But, you know, still we're still seeing a lot of players still sticking with what they were running in Regulation F, but modifying it for Regulation G, if that makes sense. So obviously, like, the Psy Spam users were using Kali X Shadow instead of Iron Crown. Meanwhile, the Kyogre teams have adapted to now bring Serena on the team in order to get that Queenly Majesty off. I don't know, like, it was just sort of interesting to see that while the meta has obviously changed, people are still going quite safe with what they understand. Like, nothing too wild.
Yeah, really interesting to see, you know, like you said, the adaptations of people running, you know, what they might have in Reg F. But I think that, I mean, early metas do tend to kind of start going a bit standardized. I mean, it being like early Reg F is particular because of, like, for example, the Ogerpon Wellspring coming back into usage again. Back when we were playing the really, really early Reg G, I mean, like, I'm talking when it was a theoretical thing, we did mention the Ogre, you know, like we were using Ogerpon and then it fell out even before the regulation started. So now that regulation started again, it's interesting to see people have gone back to trying to use it again because it was popular at the time in Reg F when we were thinking about what Reg G would be. So it's, yeah, interesting to see that it's stayed here now again, come back again.
Yeah, because I mean, I haven't got the graphic, unfortunately, but I want to talk about Pelipper, because I know me and you weren't very sort of, well, not keen, but is not the word, but we weren't, I don't know what the word is exactly. We were just sort of thinking it might be a flash in the pan. And then Pelipper just at this Indy regional and in the VO battles we did last night, the work it was putting in, like, made me completely change my opinion on Pelipper. I have nothing but respect for that bird now. Absolute crazy the amount of work Pelipper actually did put in. The fact that obviously, you know, Drizzle kind of really screws over Koraidon and Groudon teams, but also having that wide guard to stop the Calyrexes going nuts and the Kyogre in a way, like from stop going water spouting. Yeah, Pelipper's a great Pokemon. Honestly, like just how well it did yesterday, it kind of makes me think maybe it's a dark pick for Worlds. Like, as a champion, which obviously would be the very first time Pelipper's ever been a world champion, which is weird to say that in this kind of format, because when you think about this kind of format, you think big boys, big toys, you know, big guns, suns out, guns out.
Yeah, exactly. But it is funny. Like, I mean, I like your conscience is saying in the chat, you know, it's interesting. There's an interesting tweet saying that the restricted needs to make more of an immediate impact. So the setup aspect of things are kind of going away. I think that would also explain why in the day one usage mons, you know, you do see like the Zamazenta higher up as well.
Yes. Yeah.
And I you know, because I think that people are trying to kind of like squeeze it in as like doing more than one thing, and people are saying no, and like, you know, your coach is saying Terapagos is switching from that more
I do agree
to offensive mode, which it does make sense now. Yeah,
because I kind of felt like with some of the battles that was on the stream over the weekend at Indy, I felt as though the restrictors was actually taking more of a back seat, whereas the actual like mons we've been so used to seeing from previous regulations were the sort of the forefront, if you will. They were like the ones doing the work, doing the damage. And the restricteds were kind of sitting in the back a little bit. Terrapagos in itself is ridiculous. I had no idea that Terrapagos' ability could get rid of terrain as well as weather. Like, it literally nullifies everything.
Yeah.
And I think that is such a powerful tool to have, because that stops Miraidon teams, it stops Kyogre, Groudon, Koraidon. The Callies don't particularly want to deal with it as well, probably. And we also saw, like, in a viewer battle with Tiger, when he was using Terrapagos in our very first viewer battle, a Terra Starstorm. I keep saying Terra Sandstorm now as well. Where's my Stellar Tyranitar? Yeah, just the amount of damage it was doing. Yeah, neutral damage, just doing like 50% to our Chaladon with Assault Vest. It's just disgusting. And just, I can't remember the person's name, but it was the person who finished second, Indy, but he was using Choice Specs Terrapagos with Hyper Beam, Sleep Talk, as well as Earth Power and Terra Starstorm. Which, yeah, like, isn't that perfect, though, for a Terra Pargos to be like, oh, if I switch in and Amoongus puts me to sleep, I've got Sleep Talk.
That is actually, I didn't even consider the sleep talk aspect
No,
of
I
it
didn't.
being so,
Like,
that is what it's worried about, because it does tend to stay on the field for a little bit. So, yeah, it makes sense. It is a great Pokemon. I'm really interested to see what it develops like. Actually, I realized the thing that I'm wondering about really is once the ability for it to Terrestrialize goes away, I wonder about how valuable it will be.
yeah, no, honestly, just
Yes.
it's absolutely mental this weekend. And I want to just point out as well, because we did mention this slightly in the pre-show. This is a great theme.
Yeah.
Miraidon winning. Highest Calyrex Shadow is the 24th. Indianapolis Regional carrying the Miraidon. Highest Zacian was at 86. Like, yes, Calyrex Shadow Rider didn't have a great showing, but Zacian had an even worse showing. From what I've seen as well from like various tweets, Zacian struggled so much. Everyone was saying Zacian just couldn't get any going, no momentum, couldn't support it because, you know, there was too many things that could deal with it properly. Like, it was getting walled pretty much every single round. It's kind of a miracle that Zacian managed to get 86 according to like a few players as well. Like, no one was happy about running Zacian at Indianapolis, even when they were getting to day 2 and just getting on with it. Like, apparently the mood was very much like, I'm not comfortable. I need to like adjust so many times in my match. It's causing me more headaches than actual anything else. Like, Zacian, I think we put Zacian at like a low A or a low B. I think we might need to move it down.
I think I really hate to admit it, because I actually think that it plays fantastically if you play it right. But it might just be I play it in a certain, like, I play in a way and I think that it works really well. Maybe it's just, it's just me, but I think that, given the right team, it's really good. One thing I have noticed though is when I made my opinion on it, Incineroar was nowhere near as popular as it's suddenly become again. Like,
Yeah.
it had fallen off and now it's gone so high up again that it really does just completely neuter Zacian. At one point when when maybe Zacian, when Incineroar was maybe 50% of the teams, it had a chance, but no, not anymore. Because you need like the damage boost with too many things that Incineroar can switch in on really easy, like Chien-Pao and Gouging Fire. Like, that core is really great, but Incin counters it really well. So, yeah.
Yeah, because I'm just looking at so I've got the Victory Road Indianapolis team list now up on the channel, and you can see things like, obviously top 8, very much Miraidon, Terra Pargos, Cali Ice, with the one Kyogre and the one Zamazenta. The Zamazenta was interesting because, of course, it was running a Latios as well in that team. It was a Soldew Latios. It was very much like hard hitting, but it was also running Icy Wind, which I thought was quite interesting for like the speed control. But literally that whole game was very much just keep wearing down Zamazenta, because all it was doing was body pressing, because all it could do was body press against its opponent that it was playing at the time. Because Heavy Slam was not going to get the damage in, which was actually quite fascinating.
Choice Band Rillaboom!
There was Choice Band Rillaboom as well, which,
legend.
Because I can't remember, on the stream they were actually making a point of that, because this person was running Choice Band Rillaboom. If they were running Fake Out, they actually had more of a chance of winning their set and going to the semi-final.
Because they could have just knocked out with Fake Out at one point.
Yeah.
Oh no!
And they didn't have the grassy terrain.
Oh, that sucks. But like, I love it. It's so good. It's one of the lads.
He is a lad. Can't deny the lads. Like,
Choice Band Rillaboom is cracked. I'm not gonna lie. I think that it could be on a team composition that does fantastically well.
Oh yeah, like, I think it definitely has it, but obviously it depends on who else you're running. It's not like in Sword and Shield where it made more sense back then, because they have nerfed Rillaboom slightly. With the lack of power the Grassy Glide has. The other ones I wanted to point out as well was the Araquanid that finished 9th.
Yes.
With the Smeargle.
Very cool.
I do like Araquanid. I think Araquanid's a great Pokemon. This Smeargle was running Decorate.
I think Decorate's such a great
Decorate is an amazing move.
It's such a... Taking it off of Alcremie is mean, okay? I think taking Spore off Amoonguss is fine, because like Spore's a great move and Amoonguss doesn't really even need it to be good. So, giving it to a crappy Smeargle was fine, but taking Decorate away from Alcremie is just not fair.
Yeah, sorry. Yellow Eyes has just asked a question in the chat.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
What mon do you think would be a good pair for double restricted? I feel Zacian would shine again then. Yeah, honestly, I think when it comes to double restricted, I think a lot of single restricted Pokemon will shine better then. For example, I think Groudon and Kyurem White could really work well together in a double format restricted, because of course both of them kind of works with each other if you think about it. Both of them complement each other quite nicely, but like, I don't know, we might see Zacian Kyogre again. Swordfish might be back.
It could be. I mean, I think the obvious one is that Kyogre will be the second restricted of choice for quite a lot.
Yeah.
Just because Pelipper is right now, so it just kind of does that job. But really,
also,
really
I
well.
did see your note about the fact that Kyogre lost to a Pelipper.
Oh yeah, that is quite funny.
Which is really funny. Like, I'm the legendary fish now.
It was Pengy. It was Pengy. Pengy's Kyogre. Bearing in mind, he's the defending champion. And
oh yeah, that's right.
I'm not gonna lie. Pengy's run through Indy 2022 got me into using Kyogre.
Yeah.
I watched his performance, and I watched the way he talked about how he balanced the Assault Vest variant so that he was able to run 4 moves, and he could Dynamax to eat the Regieleki Dynamax Max Lightning, which is just ridiculous, and then Oko it in return, which is just a fantastic like adaptation for like really just baiting in a Max Lightning from a Regieleki and then just taking it out. He got me into using Kyogre. He helped me learn that it was more than just the water spout, like the Tailwind water spout machine. And then this guy comes in with a Pelipper, his video editor of all people as well, who probably has quite an advantage from watching him play a lot of matches.
Hilariously, there is Pengy right there, 15th with the Kyogre team you just mentioned, which I found quite funny. Also, just to point out as well, highest Groundon player was jawnzu, who will go over his little moment in a bit. He had an insane final best of 3 against someone who was legit dressed up as Ebenezer Scrooge, like in his nightgown and a little candle. Apparently, he does that to every regional. He'll dress up as something different. Like, he just cosplays as something different, and it's like, that's amazing. Honestly, such a funny thing. I mean, I don't know if he's the guy who dressed up as the hot dog.
I think he is.
Yeah. If he is the guy who dressed up as the hot dog, he's a legend. Like, every regional, he dresses up as something completely random. And I want more of that. I want more people to proper, like, just dress up as cosplay is something random, not even as a player, like a character or something. Just cosplay. I don't know. I might turn up as a toaster. We could. Oh my god, dress up. Go to a regional, dress up as kitchen appliances.
We should do it.
Oh, we should totally do that. I'll be a toaster. You could be a air fryer. Do you want to be? Oh no, be an air fryer.
I'll be an air fryer. I could be an air fryer.
I know you could be an air fryer. Like,
thanks.
You're my favorite air fryer.
No idea how much I appreciate that. Yeah. I needed that today.
I'm just going to tweet that later. Yeah, hang on. Luke, who finished 14th, was the highest Koraidon player, which I think we did actually see I saw on stream. It was kind of crazy, just the level of placement he needed to put for his Pokemon in order for it to work. He had a really, really fun best of 3 with, I think it's Aaron Trailer.
Aaron Trailer's a fantastic player. I love that guy.
They had a really good best of 3 on day 2, so I do highly recommend watching that if you can find it.
100% right after this.
And also, just to note as well, Kyurem White actually got 23rd, so Kyurem White did better than Zacian as well. Like, Zacian missed out on a lot of restricted mons. With the I'm not surprised about this team at all. I fought this team.
I fought that team today, actually.
I fought that team a couple of weeks ago, and literally I switched in, I can't remember who it was, I switched in someone, and then I went for Rain Dance with my Tornadoes, but the Ninetales knew what I was doing, so I went for Snowscape to get the snow back up.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's... Okay, so this one doesn't, but it's running fake tears, though, like, which is kind of crazy with the Kyurem White, Assault Vest Kyurem White, I should point out as well, which is kind of cool. Hypnosis, Milotic. Yeah, kind of crazy stuff going on there. Shadow Ball and Didi as well. Like, I haven't seen... That's a very Sword and Shield set.
Yeah, that's an anti-Calyrex,
isn't it?
Right there.
That is... Wow.
That's a Aaron Cybertron Zang tech that I've
That's an
learned in one day.
that's an Aaron Cybertron saying
I learned,
special.
yeah, I learned it is. I learned it. I learned you just protect Calyrex, shadow ball the opposing Calyrex. Turn one, that's what you do until they figured it out, and then they stopped. You couldn't do that anymore.
Sorry, your consciousness just pointed out because I said I'll turn up a regional with it as a toaster. Your conscience said you better be running Will-O-Wisp.
Oh, yeah.
I will miss my Will-O-Wisps. Like...
Oh, speaking of Will-O-Wisps, Aaron and Wolfie's commentary in the first match of day one was
two giggly little school children.
It was phenomenal. At one point when they were like gassed up, high energy, and Aaron's like, are they going for the Will-O-Wisp? He hits the Will-O-Wisp. Must be nice.
Must be nice.
And there was like a second of silence before Wolf realised what he said.
What he just said. Bursts. So good.
So bad.
They are a very good pairing, and you can tell like they're generally friends in real life, and they've been friends for a very long time. I loved it when every single time Miraidon did a serious amount of damage to a Pokemon that it should be doing a serious amount of damage, they were just giggling away, just being like, oh!
I love it at one point when Wolfie's talking to Rosemary about this. I think it was Rosemary, but he was going like he was doing his play, and then the Miraidon goes for a Volt Switch and just takes like a Moongoose all the way down to like 10%, and he just stops what he's saying to shout, "What are you doing, Miraidon? How are you doing so much damage? There isn't even grassy terrain on the field."
It's so gross.
And then he goes, as I was saying,
honestly. Miraidon. We'll talk about Miraidon next, but like, oh my god, how disgusting was it?
Yeah, I think he was right to be so offended.
It is so offensive. Yellow Eyes was just asking as well, what other restricted ones do you think will shine, increasing usage in the final couple of regionals?
Good question.
I think at the moment, if I bring back up the restricted Pokemon we had from the data that showed here, like this pattern here, this is what we have right now. I honestly think these 8, if you will, is going to be like the front runners, and then we'll maybe see stuff like Solgaleo, Lunar, Dawnwings, Duskmane, Necrozmas maybe popping up like later down the line once people kind of understand what they wanted to do. But at the same time, these 8 are so good at the moment. I'm struggling to see if they can find their way in. I feel like if they do find a way in, it might be a little bit niche.
Yeah,
like I know a lot of people are saying, "Oh, Ho-Ho's gonna cook. Ho-Ho's gonna cook."
Oh yeah, your conscience is saying, "Yo, don't forget Ho-Ho."
I want to see Ho-Ho do well. Don't worry.
I would love to see it do something first. Just one thing would be lovely.
Yeah,
and then after,
and then we'll take it from there.
Start thinking about it.
Honestly, if we're gonna, okay, I'll put that out there then. I would say if we can find a way that Ho-Ho can actually tackle these teams, then sure, we can have Ho-Ho in that list. Personally, I think Ho-Ho will struggle.
For now, in theory, can do some things against some of these guys, but not Kyogre. That's the problem.
No, because you'll have to have a Mon with Sunny Day. You will have to run Whimsicott probably with Sunny Day. There's numerous things you could counter a Ho-Ho with, like Raging Bolt. Raging Bolt is a mega threat at the moment. How are you going to stop a Raging Bolt?
Well, I actually noticed something really interesting here, which is that the top 4. So I actually just happened to be, after the stream had finished last night, I just saw that Tub Nation was on the.
Oh yes, sorry, we were supposed to talk about this.
Tub Nation. I just went in, and Alex Underhill was talking about it. So I was actually, I realised I was using the London Corviknights thing, but because of that, we'd never talked in the chat before, so he recognised what we were saying.
Oh, okay.
And he brought up a couple of really good points about speed tiers in general, and about how they used to run the Regieleki with the Calyrex Ice, and they called it the Bolt Beam Speed Sandwich because they were so polarizing speed tiers.
I love that name. That's a great name.
If you really think about it, we have got a bit of that going on with this top 4, right? You've got the really super fast Calyrex Shadow and the really slow Calyrex Ice, and then you've got the Kyogre weather polarizing with the Koraidon weather, with the speeds being like relatively reverse as well. Like Kyogres tend to be, you can do the fast Kyogre, but I generally think that slow Kyogre could be really good as well, especially like, Assault Vest Kyogre maybe, I don't know. Weirdly enough, you do have that kind of the polarizingness in that top 4 going on quite well.
No, I completely agree with you. I think obviously we can't judge worlds, like what the actual sort of predictions for worlds are going to be based on one regional. We'll have to see what the other events leading up to worlds happens. We've still got NAIC to come up. I think Los Angeles has a regional coming up. Stockholm is this weekend, I believe, which is happening at the same time as Eurovision. So, if you get knocked out on the Saturday, just pop over and watch some Eurovision. Like, great weekend all round. Just
There we
I
go.
can you imagine? I just got day 2 in Stockholm Regional. Now I'm just going to see how Eurovision's getting on. Come on, sing your hearts out.
Yeah, come on, guys, let it out.
But like halfway through, like a really heavy song, like someone's, just like it's a really deep power ballad, right? And the person's, he's there with his microphone and he's strumming the guitar and he's just like, when your heart feels the way it feels, just cuts back to you in the audience being like, can't believe I missed Hydro Pump. It would happen though, wouldn't it? It would literally just, I think that'd be so funny, and then just come back on the Sunday and just be like, oh yeah, how was it yesterday? And just, I don't want to talk about it.
No, I'm feeling better though. Eurovision really sorted me out.
Yeah, Eurovision like helped me, man. Like, don't diss Eurovision. ABBA, mate, ABBA.
Yes.
Reg G, I think it's still good. What about Iron Bundle? Do you think Iron Bundle has more of a chance than Reg G? I will point that out right now.
Yeah. Although I will say I am sick and tired of Iron Bundle going down so fast.
Right.
I am a little bit sick and tired of it. Although I am running the latest team I did was Blizzard Bundle with. I've got a replay. There was only one replay. It was the replay that we missed last week. So I added one that I made. There was a 3-turn one just so that we could do that. But
fair enough.
Yeah, Bundle is in that team.
yeah, because I think it was actually Big Steve on Twitter. He was using Miraidon Iron Bundle and just boost the speed, the Iron Bundle, get those icy winds off, and then Miraidon just goes nuts. But I do agree with you. I feel like Iron Bundle, despite the fact Fluttermane is supposed to be the exact same as Iron Bundle, it really isn't. Like,
No.
Fluttermane is better than Iron Bundle, and I hate saying that because I love my Mecha Chicken.
It's the 1 point, isn't it? It's just
it's a 1 point speed difference. But the stat distribution is completely off for Iron Bundle to like really kind of work in this meta. Because Raging Bolt just thunderclap just does so much to everything. Oh, thank you, honey. My other half has produced me chocolate.
Oh my god, is it the Kit Kat delivery?
No, it's not a Kit Kat. It's a Dairy Milk tonight. We have a Dairy Milk delivery, ladies and gentlemen.
Nice.
Love you. But yeah, I think the same says for Reg G, though. I would love to see Reg G have another shot at winning Worlds, because of course it got to the final in the last restricted beta it was in. I just think, Raging Bolt is too many teams are using it. If it's got over 50% usage, Reg G is going to struggle. And plus, the coverage Reg G has is nothing compared to Raging Bolt. Yeah, I'm sorry, Yellow.
Yeah.
The bouncy boy will not be bouncing so much.
It was when I talked about the Calyrex, the speed sandwich thing. That was back what Alex Underhill and his team building group. All the Tub Nation guys, basically, they were running the Calyrex and the Regieleki back in Series 12. So that was what that reference was. But it's unfortunate that Regieleki wouldn't be very good now. It got banned in singles like immediately as soon as it was allowed in the game.
Yeah.
And in here it's like nothing.
Nothing. Absolute nothing. Also, just want to point out as well, another restricted that finished above Zacian is Lugia.
Yeah.
Lugia with multi-scale Cova Cloak, which is kind of interesting. With Annihilate, actually. Safety Goggles, Annihilate, Comfey, and Sableye. That's an interesting team, actually.
I'm not really 100% sure what the Annihilate is for. Because I doubt it's for Calyrex, right?
Is it for the Incineroars because of Defiant?
Oh yeah, maybe it was just a better option than running like Gambit or something.
Yes, because Rage Fist doesn't count as a contact move.
Doesn't it?
I don't think it does. Basically, it could just keep Rage Fisting Amoonguses and not have to worry about, because it's not going to get Rocky Helmet damage, and it's running Safety Goggles because it can't be spored.
Oh, that's cool.
That's quite clever, actually.
And it doesn't get redirected as well, so it can still hit like partners.
Because it still hits Cali.
You know what? That's actually a good tech. I like that when they bring back these new Pokemon that were good in earlier
And that
generations.
is why Nerd Shadiness really likes Annihilate right now. I've just clocked.
We're on to you.
We're on to you, Nerd. Wherever you are. Playing badminton, probably.
So Darth Leon here, welcome on in, said, Comfey plus Sableye is a TCG reference.
Really?
Is that, sorry, I had no idea, but if that's true, then that's very funny.
That is quite amusing, I'm not going to lie. Like, I mean, obviously our experience in TCG is very limited.
Yeah.
This is quite a cool team, though, as well. Like, Screamtail, Encore Disable Screamtail with Booster Energy. Not even going for, like, a Trick Room here, but, like, Gallade there with, doing the Trick Room instead. Clear Amulet, Sacred Sword, Sharpness, obviously boosting Psycho Cut and Sacred Sword. But also having Wide Guard. I remember fighting a Gallade on before the ladder was open on Switch, there was a Gallade that was running Terra Dark, which I thought was kind of crazy, like a Terra Dark Gallade, and then it was running Hypnosis.
Oh,
yeah,
brutal.
And it got
So
me
it can't be
twice.
taunted.
It got me
Yeah.
twice, and I was like, "You little." Excuse me.
It's fine. I'll remember that one.
Nice little bleep there for Parrot to do.
56, cool. 56. That's in the notes.
I have to keep him on his toes. No, but there was a big combo deck with them in the TCG. Oh, fair enough.
That
That's kind of
makes
great. That makes more sense. Like,
Going back to that Lugia team, by the way, did you see the match between Chase and Tommy Rothel? I can't remember how to pronounce his name. I am afraid. But Tommy Rothling. Tommy Rothling was running a Terrapagos team. It was like a hyper-offensive Terrapagos team, dude. In the last match, the Terrapagos goes for a Terra Star Storm, and it does a smidgen of damage to Lugia. And they cut back to it after the match had finished, like after the winner's interview and everything, just to hear the audio of everyone in the crowd laughing.
wow.
I know, it was
Okay,
brutal.
I'll need to find that. I missed that. I don't remember that.
You see, it cuts to Chase, and Chase goes, "Wow," and then Tommy goes, "Oh well, GG," and they just ended the game.
He's already getting like his top and hat and his cane. He's just like, "Oh, golly gosh." Like, oh, great heavens.
Yeah,
like,
he just got out, like, and he picked up his papers and went, and
I'm off to file them.
yeah, that's the end of that. Yeah,
That's it. Have a good day. Have a good weekend.
genuinely fantastic.
That's hilarious. The moment I wanted to just mention was this sort of insane moment here. I won't play the audio because obviously, like, we don't want to get copyright striked or anything with this. But basically, this was the last game of day one, and this was jawnzu versus our favorite cosplayer Jesse, the hot dog guy -- Ebenezer Scrooge.
He looks so sleepy.
He does, doesn't he? He's got a little candle. I don't know if you can see it right there. He's got a little candle.
I love
so
it.
funny. Apparently he wanted to light the candle up, but obviously, yeah, like, you're in a venue, no one's going to let you do that. But apparently the candle smelled really nice. So, you know, comforting. But this is like the final turn of game 3 between these two, and the reason why I love this turn so much was because the passion from jawnzu that comes out was exactly the same as how I felt, because I was like, I don't know how on earth jawnzu's going to get out of this, like Jonathan Zoinga. I had no idea how he was going to get out of it, but he literally. But yeah, so he's lost his son, because Kyogre, as in the actual son, not anything else.
Yeah, I was going to be like,
he's lost the weather, so he's got. Sorry, that was really bad.
I'm sorry.
I realised as I said it, I was like, I should have picked my words better.
Go on.
But yeah, so obviously he's lost. Yeah, so like he's got Raging Bolt out here, right? But he's facing a Stellar Terrestrialized Shen Pao as well as the Kyogre, which is quite gross. Stellar Shen Pao. Yeah, look how much damage this Sucker Punch does to the Raging Bolt.
Ooh.
Like half health immediately. I believe this knocks out the Raging Bolt. Okay, no, so it doesn't. So obviously the Sucker Punch next turn does knock it out. I'm just going to skip on through so I can actually show you what's happening. Oh, yeah, sorry, that was the thing. So jawnzu managed to get a double protect on the ground on before this moment happened. Because now he brings in his Flutter main. Lovely shiny. So he's realized in this situation he's already double protected with the ground on. So he is a little he's in a really bad spot basically, because although I think his ground on outspeeds Kyogre, he has to go for the Precipice Blades because he's got no choice. He has no choice. He can't Heat Crash because the weather is not on his side, so it's not going to knock out the Chen Pao. Kyogre could just hit it with an Ice Beam, or an Origin Pulse will probably do a lot of damage towards it. But also he has to rely on this Flutter Mane to actually help mitigate this damage as well. Like, yeah, how can Flutter Mane help out here? Like, obviously it can probably help deal with the Chen Pao, but Kyogre maybe not so much. So he's mentioned this. We'll probably tag his Twitch as well, because he basically, when we raided him last night, he spent the entire stream just talking about his run. Really interesting. Would highly recommend going through and watching it. I was listening to it a bit last night and a bit this morning. Honestly, it was crazy. Absolutely crazy, like what he had to do in order to win this game. Because, yeah, it was basically, if he loses, he doesn't get to day 2. But if he wins, he gets into day 2. This was a win-and-in game.
It was the last game of day 1.
Last game of day 1, final round of Swiss. Like, this was crunch time for both of them. If Fluttermane can knock out Chen Pao, then they could have a better time against the Kyogre. But obviously, if Chen Pao knocks it out with the Sucker Punch, which shouldn't really happen, like, because it's already used the Stellar Sucker Punch for the Raging Bolt, so the Sucker Punch damage should do a lot, but shouldn't be enough to knock it out. Unless it was a crit.
Oh, with the Stellar gone, yeah.
Yeah. So you can see it on his face. He was like, "Oh, you're kidding me!" Like a crit Sucker Punch straight into his Flutterbane.
It's such a shame.
The HP on the Chen Pao, I believe, was like 2/3. Like it's not full health, so its Focus Sash wasn't going to be. But then this happened. Hits the Precipice Blades on both of them. Knockout. Gets it. Look how happy he is. Like, I was ecstatic for him as well. I was like, oh my god.
Yes.
Oh my god. Like, he needed that. And that, yeah, he won the match through that. Look how relieved he looked. Look, my man was sweating. Like, my man was sweating, man.
Yeah. Look at this respect, though. What a couple of legends.
Also, it's not every day that you get respect from Ebenezer Scrooge. Like,
exactly.
So
yeah.
I would take that 100%. Honestly, my heart was like, oh my god, I can't believe he just did that. I was so pleased for him. I really was. He thoroughly deserved it, though. Absolutely deserved to get that double knockout to get into day 2. And if we actually go back to the list, I believe jawnzu finished so he finished 12th.
That is incredible.
Like, and he was the highest rated ground-on player of the day, and he only missed out on the top cut through resistance, I think.
Wow.
Or I can't remember what the terminology is. Is it resistance?
12, yeah, because he would have graded. Well, I think no, he would have just been knocked out in top 36.
Yeah, I can't remember how it works though, because like there is a resistance counter or something like that dictates people's order or something like that. I can't remember.
Oh yeah, but that would.
Strength of opponent.
Yeah. Sorry, go on.
I think that was anyway. He barely missed top 8. Quick question: if your opponent showed off Stress to Scrooge, would it affect your play? Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
I'll be intimidated. Like he'll bar humbug me, and I'll be like, oh no.
Yeah.
My
Every
game plan is
good luck.
Literally, he'll just say bar humbug, and I'll be like, I can't believe he just said that.
He got me with the.
He got me with the bar humbug.
Yeah, he intimidates us.
Yeah, he is the top tier intimidator. What can I say? But yes, I think the only thing really we need to go over for Indy, obviously, we've gone through everything except for the guy who won Indy, Rajan, who was running Miraidon. This disgusting restricted puck. We knew it was strong. We just didn't know how to work it, but he did. I love the fact that Miraidon's, like, obviously Miraidon was disgusting. Like, the amount of damage it was doing. Like you mentioned earlier, like, what was it? Volt Switch into a Moongus got into the red.
Yeah. Like 10% left with no terrain.
With no terrain. And it was disgusting on how it was doing. The other factor as well that I was thinking as well was the fact that a Terra Electric Raging Bolt versus Terra Electric Miraidon. Miraidon's Volt Switch still did nearly half damage.
Yeah.
Like, and that was an Assault Vest Raging Bolt.
And they were laughing about how it was like, oh, the Terror took away the 4 times resist, so it's going to do massive damage now. It's like, are you joking?
Yeah.
People are laughing because it's like, well, it's a neutral hit, so it's going down. It's like, wow, that is a lot of damage.
Yeah. No, honestly, anything that was, if it wasn't very effective or didn't affect, that was the only chance of surviving. If it was neutral damage, you're done. Like, Fluttermane, gone. Urshifu's, gone. Amoonguses, gone. Rillaboom, gone. Like, all of these top tier names that could have handled it was just out the window. Like, see you later. You're not doing anything. And I think the fact that we was running, Electric Seed Farigarath is genius.
I like that tech.
Also, Terra Ground, so it could just go for the discharges, like if it needed to. I thought the Farigarath was absolute pinnacle to this team.
You've got the amount of synergy that the Electric Seed has with it as well to give it all that defense. Everyone talks about Farigarath like this great like Pokemon that everyone's acting like it isn't just U-turn knockoff into it turn 1 and it's gone for the rest of the game. With every time I've ever played one, I just don't understand why anyone found it a big deal until this adaptation came along. Suddenly, it's still got like over 50% health left after that double up. One of your Pokemon is gone, and if one of those Pokemon was Rillaboom, the whole game is over.
Yeah,
because you can't do anything about the terrain anymore, and you just got knocked out by like Rillaboom's Volt Switch, from a Volt Switch or something silly, because it helping handed.
It's mental. I think what Yellow's mentioned in the chat as well, and the fact that like not many people kind of respected Miraidon going into Indianapolis. We did. We respected it. Like, I just want to point that out. Disclaimer: we thought it was really dangerous. The only problem we had, we weren't comfortable with the teammates that it could build around it, because we were very much just sort of like, okay, how do you actually build this Miraidon team? How do you build a Miraidon team that's going to function? Rather than stick a bunch of future Paradox Mons onto it and hope for the best. Whereas in this scenario, like, yeah, for Farigarath, like, with Electric Seed, hardly got any damage from a Flare Blitz from Incin. And I think that was what a lot of top tier players were saying at the same time, was just sort of like, I don't like Miraidon because I don't know how to work it, rather than, I don't like Miraidon because it's bad. I think their sort of negative state on Miraidon, was not justified in a way. Slap it on the raid team. All right, Yellow, you do that then. Waiting for you to bring out the Pelipper, mate.
Yeah, well, I mean, that is an exact point, isn't it? The Pelipper being like so good at the moment kind of makes Miraidon better as well, because it does counter Pelipper directly, so
God, yeah, Thunder Miraidon, no.
Thunder Miraidon, yeah.
Oh, nothing will outlive that. But yes, honestly, I think he very much deserved it, because but like Barrett obviously hasn't watched the final.
No, I haven't actually, no.
But you will absolutely enjoy it, because like I mentioned when we were doing the pre-show earlier, there is a crucial moment where Miraidon goes for the discharges because it needs to take out opponents. So Whimsicott has to go for the protects and just hope it keeps getting them. I thoroughly believe if he didn't get that, he would have lost against another very strong Terrapagos team with a Chi-Yu, I should add, with a Psychic Chi-Yu. Shout out to Danny.
Oh, wow. Oh, he's got Psychic. That's crazy. No, that's so funny.
Like, Danny the Umbreon would be a massive fan of this Chi-Yu. I'm automatically seeing this now. Maybe not Terra Ghost. She'd probably want to go Terra Psychic, but...
I think that she'd be convinced to go Terra Ghost if I said, yeah, we'll take out.
And it finished second. It finished second at Indy.
Yeah, I also showed her the blood. I did actually show her, weirdly enough, that the winning team. When I saw Rogon's first match on day one, I was listening to it at work, and I saw the team, and I was like, "Oh, Daddy, this is so funny. This is like quite similar to the team that we kind of like made for fun."
Yeah.
Except for I was like, well, it's more like the team that I suggested we should make.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I will also say, before Series 12 started, when we were theorizing about Series 12, and I was trying to say to Danny, because I'd already like exhausted a lot of my own ideas by this time, I would often turn to Danny and say, if you were gonna run it format, just out of curiosity, and I could try and convince her to help me, just give me some ideas of what she would like to do. I accidentally come up with Rinya's son before it existed.
Before it was a thing.
Yeah, except for I had a Venusaur on the team instead of.
And then I joked about using Kragonol, and it ended up being the perfect counter to Rinya's son.
Exactly. Yeah. No. Excuse me. Licky. Licky. Cloud9. It works. The
Terrapagos now.
Yeah, exactly. Well, to be honest, now. Oh my God! Now that you've mentioned it, oh yeah, actually that is exactly what it is, and that's why they must have seen my video. Obviously, they must have seen my video about Licky. We should make that, but the best restricted Pokemon ever.
Yeah, they completely got the legendaries wrong, didn't they? Like, it should have been Kragonol and Licky and Incursion.
Well, Kragonol, they must have seen what we were doing at the time, Alex, and went.
It's true. It's true.
Ice type, a strong Ice type Pokemon. Yeah, we'll do that.
I can't remember who it was. Someone laughed at me when I said, "Oh, I'm making a Kragonol team, and it does really well against Rinyu's son." I can't remember who it was. Someone in the Discord was laughing at me about it. They were like, "There is no way in hell that works." And then I built it, and I turned up to I did one of the weekly tours we had at the time, and someone immediately opened. That was it. So he opened up with Groudon and Gastrodon against my Kragonol and Tornadus. So I just Dynamaxed Kragonol, went for a Max Overgrowth into Gastrodon. As soon as Gastrodon went down, the guy quit on me.
Wait, what's the Overgrowth from? Is it from Solar Beam?
It's Solar Beam, yeah.
All right.
So Kragonol, the moveset was Freeze Dry, Protect, Solar Beam, and Ancient Power. Because Kragonol outspeeds Charizard, Landorus, Groudon, Urshifu.
Yeah.
Like, it outspeeds basically everything Renew Sun could have, other than the Zacian. But that's where you have the Kyogre in the back. But anyway, yeah, so Kragonol would Dynamax and just do what it likes. And the opponent would just be so frustrated with having to constantly switch out because Kraganor basically was just doing what it wanted at this point. It's great fun. It was hilarious. Like,
I love it. I love these
I can't
types
remember
of
who it was,
things.
but yeah, they immediately quit as soon as Gastrodon went down.
There was some stuff back then in the tours we were doing where people were pulling out like the Max Airstream Mantine in
Oh,
the
yes.
rain,
Yeah.
and I was just like, this is just ridiculous.
Oh, no,
How am I
Barrett.
supposed to know it's going to Oko my
Yeah,
Pokemon?
Barrett, it got crazier. That I can't remember who it was, but somebody did that, but with a weakness policy that they would volt switch from a Raichu into their Mantine to go for Max Airstream. And he crit. There's a clip on Ed Machina's channel because he fought him. And literally, his opponent went for the Volt Switch into the Mantine, accidentally got a crit and one hit KO'd his Mantine that was Dynamaxed. So he managed to take out his own Dynamax Pokemon with a Volt Switch and then realised, uh-oh.
That's the risky play. That's why I like you saying it's much safer to run Electivire.
Right? Motor drive that.
I'm not going to lie, the Electivire tech was really cool, but it specifically worked with Dynamax because every coverage move it got, it was like it would come out with Max Geyser, and everyone would be like,
"Ow,
why is it doing that?" And it was weatherball.
Yeah,
it was weatherball tech before it was cool, guys.
Well, yeah, that's kind of what I think will probably happen now between this restricted and maybe maybe either now between now and Worlds or between Worlds and next year's season starting. Like, we're going to see like a lot of people just say like, sod it, I'm just going to come up with some funky Pokemon teams to play around with and just have a bit of fun. Like, yeah, I think we should revisit Electivire and Cryogonal and, obviously Licky Licky's not in Gen 9. Why not? But I'm not judging.
I tried to make Golduck work.
I remember. Good. I saw the chats in admin where Dreadmambo was legit about to call a psychiatric ward for you.
Yeah, but Ed did get on board.
Oh yeah. That's what made it more funny, was the fact that Ed was like, okay, but hear me out, Eviolite Psyduck.
I would love the thing is, right, we talk about these things as jokes like that, but we are right at the top of this episode, we're talking about Eviolite Gloom.
That's true.
I was really sitting there talking to Danny the other day because I was telling her because she loves Dugong, by the way. She really wants Dugong love. She wants them to make something good with Dugong. And I was explaining how Dugong and Gloom, although they are quite unusual Pokemon on this team, they do fit in a specific niche that works for this specific format, and it might have staying power in the future, like how Whimsicott had staying power and how Clefairy had staying power, but it might not. It might actually just be this specific. There are other Pokemon that have done similar things like that before, like Parasect and...
Oh, that was random.
And like we said, the tech on of the funny things, like the Electivire that has the coverage to do certain things, these can be explorable ideas. Dynamax allowed for that. It facilitated that much, much better than what Terrestrialization does.
Yeah.
But I definitely think that it's interesting to think about these things, to be like, maybe, Assault Vest Golduck does work in this matchup, so it would really help this one team. You never know.
Well, exactly, because the other fact I've just missed here is the fact that Ditto got top 8.
Yes!
Our good little Ditto friend, which obviously it shouldn't be anyone's surprise. It's a choice scarf set. Probably you're going to try and copy other people's Calyrex Shadows or maybe an Urshifu here or there. We should really be surprised to see that. I think that's just funny. Aaron Trailer just going for that, though.
Yeah. Did you by any chance see the tweet I put out about the Ditto team?
Oh, no, I don't think I did, actually.
I'll put it in the show notes quickly, just so you can...
Oh, is this it? Sableye, Ditto, Sinister... Oh my god, what on earth?
The guy
Bro didn't know what the last 2 months should be, but could go in with just 4. Oh, that's so good.
You know what I mean? Like, he's kind of true, isn't it?
That's so good. Oh, that's so funny, but it's so true. Honestly... That I'm not even lying when I say this. I think that is actually quite a cute little team that you could use in like Mystery Dungeon.
It's better than you as like everyone's best friend.
Like, yeah, this is like the Lost Boys, but it's these 5 Pokemon. We're far from home, and our trainer is missing us. It's just like, okay, well, let's have a little trek to.
Yeah,
our trainer's on the other side of the country. We're gonna have to walk.
Yeah, it's actually, now that you framed it like that, how actually cute would it be for all these Pokemon to go on a journey as small little creatures that all find out that they're actually disgustingly broken in their own way? It's like, it turns out we were the broken team the whole time. Like,
Just an image of like the sun
Yeah.
is setting and Sableye comforting Chi-Yu with a cuddle.
Yeah, like,
They're there. You are disgustingly strong. They're there.
raping both the opponents out of nowhere, and everyone goes, "Oh, gee, I didn't realize you were so hot."
Whoa.
And then
Like,
the
how
ditto.
did you do so much damage with just Ember? Like...
Yeah, yeah, it just destroys the opponent. They're like, oh, but like it's quirky because it's difficult for Chi to get close to people and it can burn you so easily.
Oh, Paul, seriously, why would
Means
you?
ruining my relationships with everyone.
Chi-Yu is another one of those. It's one of those things where it's like, if not friend, why friendship? You know?
Oh, look at them.
Look
They're
at him,
so
though.
cute.
Yes, it's gonna ruin my life, but sounds I hit Snarl, right?
They just wanted to find their fifth guy, but it turns out they didn't need anyone
No,
else. They
turns
were,
out the
they...
trainer was the
Yeah,
missing piece.
Bra.mov was the friend they needed the whole time.
Right? We have just, oh my god, we have figured it out. Bra.mov was the sixth Pokemon they were looking for.
Exactly.
Because it's from within. It's from
It was from within.
It's from within. I need some Hans Zimmer music to go on in the background now.
Get the kazoo out. Let's go. The
Like,
jug.
get the kazoo out. Where's your jug?
Awful jug solo.
Oh dear. Right.
But...
It's so funny. Right. I believe we've covered pretty much everything Indy related. Obviously, do go watch the Indianapolis streams from the official Pokemon website and YouTube channel. I believe the Twitch vlogs are still up as well, so you can watch it from there. Obviously, there was also Go and TCG, but good luck. Like,
Yeah.
I have no idea how either works. I like the cards. I like how pretty they are.
They are very pretty.
But I have no idea like how Go meta works or the TCG meta works. So yeah, unfortunately, you will not be seeing that from us anytime soon.
No, maybe one day in like the far future.
Far future. Maybe if my future kids ever decide to pick up Pokemon, they might want to do the card game instead. To which I'll be like, yeah, you're doing a few paper rounds.
Yeah. To be fair, yes, that is.
I mean, how like expensive it is, Rob. Oh, sorry, there is one little thing we need to talk about before we do the Pokemon of the week. It's only very quick. It's basically we have noticed, me and Barrett, when we were talking last night, there is a massive gap between the last international and then Worlds. There is like no in between. There's nothing in between that we discovered, which is kind of crazy actually when we think about it.
Well, we did discover that there's other things leading up to it. There's a lot leading up to it, but then once it hits NAIC, it's like boom. Nothing.
Yeah, me and Barrett were discussing last night about how possibly we could do to sort of fill that gap. Because obviously, like a lot of players will obviously those who qualified for Worlds will probably spend most of their time coming up with team builds, probably doing some online tours with whatever they can feel like to try and understand what is going to work for them. Which obviously, yeah, that probably works for them. But in terms of like content in general, I personally think this is an amazing opportunity for locals to like take over, like really flesh out the local scene with some local events. But I've seen nothing so far that indicates that they're going to plan anything or whether Pokemon will actually do. Because that's another thing as well. I think Pokemon themselves could easily use this as a marketing tool between NAIC and Worlds. It's just that market more locals happening to kind of gauge interest in like next season, because you're not telling me there's going to be some people who competed this year who are going to want to compete next year.
I actually did ask in the chat earlier. Are we going to be competing next year? And I haven't actually ever.
He still needs to break that.
I'm the watchtower man. I see everything from afar and I offer my support from there.
I am the watchtower man.
I'm the guy sending in the airstrikes. But I have never actually seen any real combat.
I claim to have been fighting when it was just myself I was fighting with.
I come in with the aerial support. But Alex, what do you feel? I mean, do you think you might be competing?
I'll definitely be doing locals. I really want to get that professor's certification, so we can try and get more locals locally, because my nearest local is about an hour and 10-minute train journey from where I live, so having something a bit more local would be great. I really don't know about next season. I might do Liverpool again if they do Liverpool. I mean, to be fair, I'm going to be surprised if they do Liverpool again. Nothing bad about Liverpool. I just think Pokemon, it's the same with EUIC. They've done Liverpool and EUIC in the same location 2 years in a row. I think they will probably move them just for the sake of allowing other people to host it. I can't see Liverpool hosting it 3 years in a row. Or maybe it's 4 years in a row. They've hosted it for a while. There are more places in the UK other than Liverpool. Like, yeah.
I mean, Manchester, I would think would be quite a...
I had a list not that long ago, actually. So I was thinking, like, I think the 5 in my head was obviously if EUIC moves from London over to another European city, then maybe it can be in London. But you can also pick Birmingham, the NEC centre, quite big centre. Newcastle, something to represent the North, like, because the North doesn't really get much. Shout out to the North.
Yeah. For real, actually, yeah. I mean, the poor Scottish VGC players.
Yeah, shout out to Scotland as well, because I was thinking Glasgow.
Yeah, like, for real. We should, I mean, to be fair, they should just get their own... I mean, the scene might not be that big there, and I don't like to believe that, but... Yeah. Actually,
I could say the Swede, who we see regularly. You know, Swede has been propping up the Scottish VGC scene, really, because he's pretty much the only professor around. So he's running locals up in Scotland. So shout out to Swede for, like, carrying that. And you know, obviously, I do hope the Scottish VGC scene does get stronger and stronger, because I think there is a lack of professors, and I think there's a lack of locals that are happening. Like, as much as TCG are fine, because TCG is really easy to sort out. Like, VGC is a little different, but I don't think it should stop people from trying to host VGC tournaments. Because if you think about it, it's more of just like, obviously it's an opportunity for people to get points, but it's also like just a meet and greet and relationship building and, you know, meeting new people. Like, I only started going to locals like late last year, and honestly, I've met some amazing people. It's really good. So I really do hope more people do locals. But yeah, it's like, Manchester, Birmingham, Newcastle, Glasgow, dash Edinburgh. I don't think it really matters which one. I did think Brighton. Just because the Brighton Centre is actually used as well as a exhibition centre, and it's right on the coast. So, you know, you lose, you could just reflect into the sea and just contemplate. Why not?
You stole the reason that I was going to say for my town. We just became a city. Here we go.
Yes, Yellow. I only say Birmingham because the NEC Centre is big enough to host something.
Yeah.
That's literally my cause, is where can actually host something for this. Which a lot of people actually, I should point out as well, when I say Liverpool, it wasn't actually hosted in like an arena. There was like a small exhibition centre to the left of it. So, honestly, kind of annoyed me a little bit, because I thought, okay, this place will have refreshments, it'll have like drinks and stuff. Absolutely not. Like, the cafe area was shut. There was nowhere to get refreshments. You had to do like a 10-minute walk to the nearest place that does a tea or coffee. No one got lunch, basically. No tea, no coffee, no water. I had to leg it to like nearest M&S and spend like £2.50 on glorified water. Yeah.
No. Of all places.
This isn't just water, though.
There wasn't a co-op?
No, there wasn't a co-op or a Tesco. I couldn't find a Tesco. I found a Costa. Like, not even a proper Costa. It was one of those shops that you attach to the back of your car type vehicles. Like, honestly, I really believe I would have actually done a better job if I actually knew that I had to go looking for lunch, and I would have just bothered, you know, bringing my own lunch, because I was starving by the end of that day. I was 3-1, and then I went 4-5, so that should tell you.
That's such a shame. I do see a lot back when the scene first started building back up again in 2022. I was seeing a lot of people who were putting out tweets about prepping for like going to big events and what you want to do, and the amount of things that I'd see where it's just like threads of people just telling you to make sure you drink loads of coffee and eat food all day. I was like, this isn't like tips on being a competitor. This is just self-care tips that involve drinking a lot of coffee, which I already did anyway. So.
Yeah. Like,
to be fair, thanks for the reminder to eat food, though.
Yeah, so I don't mind sharing this because none of you actually know where I exactly live. Good luck.
No.
So,
No, it's right there. Yeah, I can see. Yeah.
Also, I didn't know there was a Hayward Heath in California. That's kind of funny. Yeah, so I can see my nearest places near me is literally just TCG lot. But if you do VGC, literally no one's putting anything for a while. But yeah, I would literally have to travel down over here to near Hastings in Bexhill. And that was a good hour and 10-minute train journey, because I would have to go. The train would literally go down here and then along the coast which was really frustrating. There's no route that just takes me there. And the only other place it would happen was Portsmouth all the way over here, in which I would have to go up and then back down this way. Right? There's no direct line from there, and that would take forever, and they would only host it on weekday nights instead of weekends. Impossible for me to get to. I think I mentioned it to Ed, and he was just like, yeah, they started at 6 o'clock on a Tuesday night, which I was like, okay, like, how does that help anyone? But yes,
that helps me because that is literally the only time I'm available. But yeah,
but yes, let's all become Pokemon professors and have more locals. That's all I say. And of course, the best thing about it is if you organize it, Pokemon will then fund you and give you all the bits that are necessary, including prize packs. And I believe for people who host it, they get like special goodies as well as a thank you for hosting.
Oh, so if we both become professors, we'll get like.
We'll get some nice jubbly stuff that we could sell on eBay.
Ew, yes. Yeah. Well, now that you mention selling things on eBay,
yes.
The idea of giving away to the community sounds a lot less appealing.
Honestly, though, I do hope you actually do manage to get to a local or something next season, because I think it'd be great experience for you.
It would be funny if I became a professor before I competed in my first event.
Professor before player.
I actually might do that because for my entire adult life, I have been a vegetarian chef. So,
well, there we go then.
It would be quite on brand for me to become
cooking up a storm, Barrett,
and having never competed in an official tournament ever. On brand. Yeah, I'm cooking up a storm with these
Bleakwood storm. What kind of storm? What's a vegan storm that we could cook up?
Well, there's Sandsear is like the meat one.
Yes.
Bleakwind is the vegetarian. And Boltwind is the spicy version.
Yes, I think every single time I'm going to use a Torn now, I'm going to be like, the vegan storm. I always knew my Torn was a vegan.
Do you know what? To be fair, he does kind of look like one of them buff vegans. He's really hench and green. He's
the vegan from Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Yeah, he is. That's where he got his superpowers.
Just Torn comes out with a bass guitar. It's just a dun 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 dun.
Destroys them all.
That's how he motivates Kyogre so much. Obviously,
that's how he gets off Tailwind.
Yeah, exactly. It's just dun 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 dun.
He's just like everyone's just like driving so hard.
Banging track though, love that. Yeah. Right, so we've talked about locals now. We talked about the state of affairs. Obviously, as the London Corviknights, we'll probably try and come up with something as well to try and occupy people in the meantime. Because I think, if you're not going for Worlds, I think it's going to be quite a dull summer.
Yeah, and this is the perfect time for us to just really experiment with the format
and see what we can cook up. Good old cooking, Vegan cooking. My Torn is a vegan.
We'll do a mixture.
Right, Barrett, it is that time where I ask you, as we do each week, what is your Pokemon of the week?
So, guys, this week's Pokemon of the week is Terapagos. I know. You might have wondered what it was going to be. Could it have been some of the other Pokemon, maybe Miraidon? But no, this time I wanted to focus on Terapagos for a few reasons. Okay, so let's just jump straight into it. Terapagos is the newest restricted legendary Pokemon from the Indigo Disc DLC. It debuted this generation. And it is the newest restricted legendary that we have available. Terapagos is the first normal type restricted Pokemon, meaning it has a unique type matchup to every other restricted Pokemon. Terapagos continues this unique trend by having 3 different forms. In its base form, Terapagos serves as something funny for your opponent to look at during team preview. Terapagos then transforms into its Terrestrial form upon switching in, which gives it the ability Terra Shell, allowing Terapagos to take a hit from full HP with not very effective damage, or half damage to be exact. With this ability, and some very respectable stats in bulk, players initially decided to build teams around protecting Terapagos from damage with a combination of screens, supportive healing, Intimidate cycling, and redirection. Terapagos was able to stack up several Calm Mind boosts before terrestrializing into its stellar form and sweeping in the late game. This strategy worked really well into a lot of common special attacking restricted Pokemon, Calyrex Shadow namely, but struggled into other common team compositions, especially since it almost wants to be the terrestrializer candidate for every match. With this in mind, players have now adapted the teams to be more focused on targeting down Terapagos' counters quickly at the beginning of the game, This works particularly well with stellar terrestrial ability, removing all of the weather and terrain from the field, making it a lot easier for its partners to remove some of the things that require the support of those field specs. An interesting observation about Terrapagos and normal times is that in general, they've always been considered to be quite diverse, usually with a lot of access to coverage moves. And although Terrapagos isn't currently running a lot of diversity, its role on a team has seen quite unique development in such a small amount of time. So it only really goes to show what we might be seeing from Terrapagos in the future. So there we go, guys. Pokemon of the week, Terrapagos.
Just want to point out as well, like, I didn't actually realise they've already got plushes out for it.
Whoa, look at those!
I'm not paying 40 quid.
They haven't got the big one.
No, they haven't got the big one. Oh my god, that big one. Oh my lord, like, trying to fit that somewhere.
It'd be good if it was like big enough to sit in.
Yeah.
Like the Snorlax one.
Yeah. Also, there was something else I wanted to show you as well. I don't know. Yeah, there's a Squishmallow Marrow though. I don't think they have it, but they're doing like a lazy summer range, right?
Yeah.
Oh, they don't have it. Okay, right. Basically, they've made a beach ball, a blow-up beach ball.
Yeah.
Which is a Spheal.
Oh, that's so cute, and I want that.
Yeah, I don't. Oh,
There it is. That it? No wait.
Oh no, I wish it was though.
I saw a Spheal, and I was like.
Also, yeah, there's a the Dragonite Squishmallow sold out already. Good god, that was
I don't blame it.
Yeah, I don't blame it either.
Extreme speed.
Somebody at a local turned up in this shirt actually, which was kind of funny.
Really?
I only saw the back of it. I was like, oh, that looks so cool. Like looking at the Cosmos. I bet it's like a, you know, a Lunatone or a Solrock. It's like, yeah, and it's like, oh, it's Metagross. I was like, not too sure I agree with that. I don't know where you got that one. Right.
That really is a kind of like a. Have you seen what Ranked looks like right now? By the way.
No.
It's all dark and scary.
Is it?
It's all thundery. If you go on Ranked right now, when you go onto the battle stadium, you get the graphic in that, and it does look a bit different. I was like, why does it look so different? And then you pick like.
Oh wait, no, I have seen it. Yeah, it's weird.
The graphic goes away, and it's like eerie, dark, grey clouds with lightning and thunder, and I was like, oh my god, the vibes are so. I want them to change the music. If I opened it up and it was suddenly, instead of it being like the, if instead of it was like.
Yeah, no, actually, yeah,
I would be terrified of going on the ladder.
No, I have seen it. It. Oh my god, yeah, no, it did look a bit weird. I can't remember who I watched. I did watch someone do some laddering the other day, and it was it's weird. It is like these weird little lightning shoots, coming out. I'm just like, what on earth are we? What's going on? Like, are you trying to tell me something dark's about to happen? Like,
yeah, it's Miraidon.
Here comes Miraidon.
Then Terrapagos just terrestrialized, and all the bad weather went away, and it was fine.
It was fine, guys. Chill out. It's fine.
It's fine. Terrapagos is probably just like, no, guys, it's fine.
It's
Don't
fine.
worry about Grassy Glide. There's no terrain anymore.
I just got a notification. Cerebeast just tweeted that the next Pokemon Go Community Day Pokemon is Bonsweet. Get your shiny Serenas out, ladies and gentlemen. Is very much that. Right, I've only got the one battle this week.
Actually, KD's one that we missed last week as well, so it's important that we see it.
Yeah, so I did say we are going to go over it. It is literally the only one. To be fair, I didn't push anyone for replays. I should have, but then again, I think everyone was just prepping for Indy or Stockholm this weekend, for example. So I wouldn't blame them.
And to be fair as well, if you want to see some cool viewer battles, then we've got a whole other stream for that. So
exactly, like Monday night viewer battle night. We have those going. Not to mention, obviously once we hit affiliate, we might have some other things going on as well. So don't you worry about that, ladies and gentlemen. Right. So these are basically, if you watched last battle, that KD is running Kyogre, Archaludon, Serena, Torn, Chenpao, and Urshifu, which actually we did see at Indy, and it was on stream, and it did do pretty well, to be fair. However, I think the Archaludon instead was a Raging Bolt. I can't remember off the top of my head, but it's very similar to what we're seeing here. And of course, the opponent is running Koraidon, Chi-Yu, our friend Brute Bonnet, Raging Bolt, Fluttermane, and Torn. We are not biased towards Brute Bonnet at all. Just want to point that out. My best friend, Brute Bonnet.
I'm getting deja vu from like last week.
Yeah, right, literally. Like, I am. Oh, the amount of times where I've just been. I remember we tried to have that conversation in team building about, like, hey, who wants to build a Brute Bonnet team? And everyone's like, nah, you should go with Amoonguss. You should go with it. It's like, guys, Brute Bonnet.
Brute Bonnet.
Stop making me sad.
Do you know what Brute Bonnet does really well on? Zacian teams. Just saying.
Just saying.
Just great on Zacian teams. Anyway, should we get on with the match and see what we have for this? This was match one.
This was match one. We watched match 2 last week. So if you watched last week, you already know what's going to happen. But match 1, we'll watch today. Yeah, I'll be interested actually to see what the leads are, because we kind of, after we saw game 2, which obviously was the adaptation from game 1, so it'll be interesting to see actually how this played out in order from last week's episode to see them how they got to that point. Rage Bolt and Fluttermane versus Torn and Shen Pao. Rage Bolt goes straight for Terra Fairy. Dumb gets to Focus Sash from the Moonblast, replies with the Ice Spinner to the Raging Bolt, and Bleakwood Storm missed both. Raging Bolt went for the Thunderbolt and instantly just knocked out the Torn. So Torn not being able to set up Trick Room. Oh my god, Trick Room Torn is a nightmare fuel idea. Sorry, Tailwind is what I meant. Wasn't able to set up Tailwind there, and that Chen Pao is already on Sash against a very strong Fluttermane here with Raging Bolt that kind of sits comfortably on half health. I don't know what you think.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like at the moment that KD's to such a bad start here. Be getting sashed immediately. The terror on the go ahead does kind of make sense actually. Interesting play. It was interesting though. We did talk about this a bit yesterday when we watched KD play game 1 of their first game yesterday. We had noticed, he does tend to just like
sit back,
throw it at the wall, get his information, then go for the game 2. And we did see in last week, the game 2, they terrestrialized Fairy immediately and lost it immediately. I think I remember. So
yes, no, like you mentioned, KD's sort of very methodical in that sense. You mentioned he likes to get his notes. He's mentioned in the past as well, hasn't he? Like he likes to understand the opponent's thinking process in order for him to then like work it against him, if you will. So it's interesting kind of opening here because you've lost Torn already. Kyogre comes out. Whale o'clock time, ladies and gentlemen, as they say. Chen Pao still on the field. So obviously Terra Grass comes out from this Whale o'clock. Protect comes out from the Chen Pao. Moonblast into Kyogre though. But that Water Spout does come out. Does a good amount of damage actually from where it's sitting, but it's not enough to pick out the KO on either Raging Bolt or Fluttermane. And the Snarl comes out from the Raging Bolt. So obviously Kyogre now half health. Can't really go for the Water Spout anymore and is sitting on -1 from the Water Spout. But more importantly, I guess, the Chen Pao is still on the field.
Yeah, it seems like the speed, the problem here with the speed is even with the resisted hit, the Thunderclap's now going to just like kind of completely shut down the opponent. The switch here from KD on the Chen Pao is obvious. So just a Moonblast into the Kyogre is just another really obvious play as well. That like I don't really know how KD's going to be able to counter. Like I don't really know. It really looks like he has to take a massive step back in this situation. So I'll be like really interested to see how it comes around.
The only thing I can think of is if that Raging Bolt is just going to prioritize the Snarl, then maybe Chen Pao, because I think that Fluttermane is easily in Sucker Punch range.
Oh, yeah.
So maybe if Chen Pao can get that Sucker Punch onto the Fluttermane, depending on, of course, if the Raging Bolt does go for a Thunderclap, which is possible considering I don't think it really wants to try and hit an electric move on this now grass whale. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what happens in this next turn as the rain obviously continues to fall. And the answer to that is, oh yeah, no, they didn't. So a Sucker Punch came out, has taken out the Fluttermane. So no Thunderclap came out to the Chen Pao. So it'll be interesting to see what happens here. But I think Kyogre's faster. Oh no. Oh, okay. So it went for Thunderclap. Oh, wait, does that mean Sucker Punch's priority is higher?
Yeah, well, it's not that it's higher. It's the same priority, but because Chen Pao's so much faster...
Oh, of course.
It just goes on the speed after that. So Chen Pao's
my bad.
Sucker... It's interesting. Yes, a faster Sucker Punch is a counter to Thunderclap. In fact, I actually did a situation once where I needed to outspeed the... what was it? Their Raging Bolt with Grassy Glide. So I had to Tailwind Grassy Glide, so that my Rillaboom was faster, so that the Grassy Glide went first and the Thunderclap failed.
Wow.
So that's it is interesting because now there's 2 moves that do this exact same thing. You have to start thinking about it a little bit because it's more widespread. So you have to start going, oh well, if this priority move, there's the same priority, but well, if I could just make my one faster, then it's not priority anymore.
Oh
So,
my goodness. Okay, so yeah, obviously the Thunderclap missed. So Origin Pulse does come out -1, but remember it's still in the rain, so it's still enough to pick up that KO on the Raging Bolt that is holding an Assault Vest. So it's now gone from a 4 to 3 to 3 to 2 situation. So the last two Pokemon is a Chi-Yu and a Koraidon, but the sun's up now for the Koraidon. So obviously the Origin Pulse is activated as well, which does send it into a bit of a frenzy. The Chi-Yu as well, but Kyogre now, being Terra Grass, probably doesn't want to be in this situation.
yeah, it looks like this is a fantastic play. Is it a Choice Scarf on the Chi-Yu by any chance?
The Chi-Yu is running Life Orb,
Chi-Yu is life.
and it's Clear Amulet on the Koraidon. Mystic Water on the Kyogre, and obviously the Sash that was consumed on the Chen Pao. But we've got to remember there is a Pokemon in the back for KD, so he can switch out, get the weather back into his favor. What's in the back, though, is another question, because, I mean, you've got that Chi-Yu sitting there, and I don't think our Chaladon or Serena would particularly like to deal with it.
No, that's a good point. Yeah, so what is it in the back for this? Because, I mean, if it's Urshifu, it still doesn't really want to deal with it.
I don't know, I can't remember if Chen Pao is faster than Koraidon. 205... Oh,
They're
okay,
the same.
right. So both of them got the same. So depending on how they've EV trained their Mons, like, can Chen Pao basically get a bit of chip damage off before it ultimately goes down? Because I don't think he'll survive another situation like this. Obviously, he could protect. Like, I think it's a bit too risky here. I think we're just gonna have to wait and see, aren't we? No Brute Bonnet though.
No Brute Bonnet.
No Brute Bonnet. Shame. So okay, so the Kyogre comes out, and it is our Chaladon. Best Dutch. Koraidon. Koraidon went for the Protect though. Oh my lord, look at that.
Oh, but that was what a read!
What
Very
a
good
read! That's an incredible read. So because they went for the Protects on the Koraidon, which I'm a little bit surprised actually.
Yeah, they must know that because they're adamant, probably they just think if I get hit by an ice.
The ice spinner.
Crash? Yeah, or ice spinner.
Yeah, I think it's ice spinner.
They probably think I just go down, so they want to protect there. But to read the switch there, that's good.
It's a great read by KD because, yeah, obviously the Sacred Sword came out, completely ruined this Chi-Yu. Yeah, nothing to do with that there. So now Koraidon's in a bit of a situation. It's a 1v3 now. Oh, look at that.
Yeah,
there you go.
There we go.
One ice spinner was enough to knock it out completely. The power of Chen Pao, man. That wasn't even Terrestrialize either. Like,
was it Terrestrialize? No Stella needed.
No Stella needed. Over here in the UK, that means something very different. Just saying.
And he didn't.
For all our pub friends.
But that was a great match.
That was a great match. Yeah, excellent read on the Chi-Yu and the fact that Koraidon was protecting, so he just prioritized taking out the Chi-Yu with that Sacred Sword, which it doesn't surprise me considering obviously it's very quick, but also it hits very hard.
Yes.
So Chen Pao is able to pick up the knockouts of that caliber, as well as the fact that most Chi-Yus really do run Focus Sash.
Yeah, I was wondering where the Sash on that team is. Why did it have Life Orb?
I can figure that out for you. Oh, the Sash was on the Flutter main.
Oh, okay, but that does make sense.
Yeah.
On a Sun team, yeah, you could have got Specs there. That might have been better. I don't know.
He could have gone Scarf.
Could have gone. Yeah.
I would have got. Yeah, he could have gone Scarf actually.
Scarf with the special attack booster is actually really funnily good.
Yeah, or just like Scarf on the Chi-Yu with Psychic.
Yeah. yeah. Take it out that something.
Why not? But yes, that is. Thank you, Katie, for sharing that. Obviously, we'll try and get a few more. I don't know about next week, depending on what we schedule in for next week. But obviously, yeah, next week is going to be a bit of a special episode for us. With all things considered.
Full episode without any regular content. So
yeah, we might literally just have an episode of us just sitting around talking about like the days. We're just going to sound like old people, just being
That's what we were saying.
Do you remember?
The first episode, we were like, back in my day.
Back in my day, Sword and Shield was the meta.
Yes.
But yeah, so yeah, we'll figure out what we're going to do next week, because yeah, next week is going to be special. We're turning 3 this Saturday, which is kind of crazy thinking about it, honestly. It is going to be special, to say the least. Obviously, we got viewer battles as well next Monday as well. I'm hoping, obviously, if we get more than 4 people, because we'll have a bit of variety. But if we just have the same 4 again, I think it's literally just going to be the last matches of their face each other. If you think about it, Tiger is for KY and Dread Mambo.
Yeah.
If we don't get excited, it's basically going to be KD versus Tiger and Dread versus KY.
That'll be season 1 of the viewer streams, done and dusted with a little bow. We'll see who did how everyone did, and then we can move on to the next thing, and we can try and do a big push for it, so that it's like a proper big deal.
Yeah, because I need to get some teams. So I mean, I've got teams, but they're not proper teams. I need to get some proper teams done. I think as well, like next week, we could have a little look back on just funny moments that we might have missed from the Discord's like 3 years. So say, for example, I came across actually the meme which I created about Stack Attacker surviving Zacian.
You have no idea how often I think about that.
Yeah, literally, I saw that and I remember you replying, being like, you have no idea how often I think about this. And it's just like, oh my God, yeah, no, I remember this meme. That's hilarious. I'm so annoyed that I've lost the VOD from that weekly tour as well.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's lost to the abyss. Like, but there was legit a moment where Stack Attacker survived a +4 Hyper Beam Life Orb Adaptability Porygon Z.
That's mad.
And I was like, how on earth and then he kept surviving Grassy Glides, Wood Hammers from Rillaboom. It's just, how are you doing this, Stack Attacker? How are you doing this?
It's just a nutter.
Stack Attacker in Gen 9, there's a reason why the Ultra Beasts are not in Gen 9. Like,
exactly.
The Stack Attacker would easily just outwin everything.
Exactly. I would actually love to see the Ultra Beasts in.
I think that'd be amazing. You telling me people do not want to see a Terra Water Kartana?
Exactly. I was actually joking with JD ages ago about how like Kartana would be really good. It would like do so well with the Flutter main, and then we worked it out, and we were like, actually, it wouldn't.
Oh no, yeah, it wouldn't. Yeah, because isn't it like 30 special defense or something?
It's got ridiculous. It would have to run that weird, like almost max special defense. Set, and then people would just run Mystical Fire. Because they would find it would be like, oh, you know what, Mystical Fire just for the special defense increase in the fire move wasn't good enough before, but now that Kartana's in the game, it actually is good enough. So we'd have to just stop worrying about Mystical Fire.
The other Pokemon I was thinking of was Nihilego.
Yes.
Like, I would love to see Nihilego in Gen 9 because I think that'd be great. Just meteor beaming everything, sludge bombing everything. I don't know, maybe, I don't know. We'll see what happens, obviously. Like, I'm still a bit miffed that Tapu's on in it, but I'm miffed about most things. What can I say?
We'll get there with it.
I'm half Scottish, half Irish. I'm allowed to be miffed by practically everything. Right, but yes, that is the end of the podcast tonight. We managed to keep it within the 2 hours, which is, excellent news for Barrett. He gets to sleep well tonight. He doesn't actually have to edit much. Yes, but obviously, come visit us next week as we potentially will have an Origin episode of the London Corviknights with myself, Barrett. I'm pretty sure I could get Nerd involved. Maybe Dread will be a little bit less camera shy next week.
But no pressure.
No pressure.
I'd love to have the other admins on, actually, just because I think that they're
just as important as we are.
Cornerstones of this community. All of them do so fantastic.
Exactly.
Work,
Shout out to the entire admin team. I know Ed is pretty much busy with his own thing, but Ed, obviously we miss you. We do hope you're well. Dread's the cutest guy on the planet. How can you hate him? But he is so nice to everyone in the community. Coldflame as well is just an information machine.
Yes, and he's keeping our server safe.
Exactly.
It's Coldflame versus the bots now, and Coldflame is
owning
coming
them
in clutch. Actually,
can you imagine if we say that and then tomorrow we get botted?
If we got botted tomorrow, I'd be like, Coldflame, damn it! Like, he actually
Coldflame turned into Warm Flame.
Well, that's what I'm worried for. He actually has been doing a phenomenal job.
Oh yes, he's been fantastic. Yes, as we mentioned, Ed as well. Nerd, obviously Nerd tries his best to keep everyone happy, and obviously that's a brilliant quality trait to him. He's always supportive of us as well, where he can be. And obviously No Snort Jim, again, another information machine. Knows trends, and he loves Smogon so much.
Oh yeah, he's got his eyes in that place.
He knows.
It is really interesting how we all kind of seem to come from slightly different backgrounds.
Yeah.
In the sense that we all focus on different things. So he really has got his eyes on that field for us.
And obviously, yeah, he is a teacher, so obviously, you know, his time is limited. But we always appreciate whenever he's free doing things with us, like the prep sessions that we've had this year. And I'm pretty sure we'll try and do a few more prep sessions throughout the year, or maybe next season as well. But yeah, shout out to the entire admin team. Shout out to everyone in the community as well. We wouldn't be a community without you lot, obviously. But we could do all the soppy stuff next week.
Yeah. We'll save it.
Save all the soppy. Bring tissues.
Yes, it's gonna be a.
It's gonna be an emotional one. I'm so emotional.
It's gonna be so. I was overwhelmed, babes.
But yes, that's it for tonight. Much love. Thank you, everyone. Hopefully we can share you some information either tonight or tomorrow that we're affiliate.
Yes.
Fingers crossed. Let's find out later. So much love to you all, and have a good evening. And if I don't hear from you, have a good week. Take care.
See you later, guys.
Bye.
Bye bye.
I said bye.